Hello, everybody. This is Mike Young, a digitalnomad.net. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't already. You may be watching this on the YouTube, or it could be on our Facebook groups. And if you're on YouTube and not on our Facebook groups, by all means, check down in the description below on the YouTube video, and there's links to all of our groups there. Just go to digitalnomad.net Facebook page and click on groups. So let's do a little talk here about, you can see range anxiety behind me, but how do you calculate the range that's left in your battery? What is the range that's in your battery in your electric vehicle? How do you know? I'll specifically be talking about Teslas, since I own a Tesla and have for 3.5 years, but this could apply to any EV. And how do you figure this out? First of all, there's been some talk, and I've seen this recently on YouTube videos and other things going around on the internet, about using different apps and things to calculate your range. And personally, I don't think that's accurate at all. I've even seen some people out there that say, hey, my vehicle's rated for 259 miles from the factory, and it says I have a rated range of 289 miles. Well, there's no way that's gonna happen. And if you know anything about electric vehicles, you'll know that fairly quickly after you buy it, that rated range, let's say 259, will drop. You will not get 259 miles except in the very first few trips. After that, there's going to be what's called battery degradation or range loss. That's normal, up to 10% during most of the time that that battery pack is useful. Now, right now, I've got about 135,000 miles on my battery pack and car, and I've got about 3.5 years time on there, and I've got over 1,500 supercharges on this thing. So it has been used extensively, and I'm still just under 10%, like 9 point something percent battery range loss, I guess is what you call it, range loss or battery degradation. Now, how do you calculate that? In my mind, there's no real way to calculate it other than doing the only thing that for sure is going to tell you, and that is, making sure you've been cycling your pack right, up and down between 20 and 80% most of the time. And then at one point, plug into a charger and let it ramp all the way up, charge all the way up to 100%. And at that point, your mileage, your range calculator on your car will have figured things out. And whatever it shows you when it's done to 100% and stops charging on its own, that's what you got. That is your rated range. It's not going to be determined by any app or anything like that. It's just going to give you a very, very wild guesstimate, in my opinion. And of course, this doesn't even take into consideration the fact that as you own your EV and your battery pack, you're going to lose stuff on the low end, which is never going to be shown in any of these calculations. In fact, I recently ran out of mileage when it showed 8 miles of range on my car because it's just not usable anymore at the bottom as this pack ages. And so 0 is not 0 anymore for me in terms of range. 0 miles isn't 0. 1 mile doesn't mean I have 1 mile left. I'd say 10 miles of range means 0 now, maybe even 15, because this is what happens, as we know, as your battery pack ages in your cell phone, it just shuts off at like 15% battery or whatever, and that's the same thing happens with your electric car. So this is important stuff. Let me know if you guys have used this method to determine the range in your battery, and let me know what your range degradation has been, because really, if it follows the normal pattern, you're going to be right around your original factory rated range. Let's just say 259 again, 259 miles as an example when you get your car. But then within a few months, you're gonna drop off significantly up to 10% and stay at that loss, maybe 9 or 10%, all the way up to the point where your battery just starts to drop off a cliff. And of course, at that point, you've probably lost stuff on the low end, like I'm describing to you. So you're gonna wanna get a new battery pack at that point, either pay for it or get it under warranty. And most battery packs have a rated life of between 2,000 to 3,000 charges. That's every battery. The one in your laptop, the one in your cell phone, the one in your car. Doesn't make any difference. They're all lithium ion, at least right now at this point in time. And that's all you can get out of those. And Tesla's gonna have a battery day where they're gonna maybe announce their 1,000,000-mile battery. And if they do, that's a different story. But I'm talking about the lithium ion battery packs that have been in every electric car up to this point in time, unless it's a homemade one. And some people have used like lead acid batteries on those. So that's about it. That's pretty short and sweet and to the point. I just want to let you guys know all this stuff is normal. Range loss of up to 10%. If anybody tells you your rated range is higher than your factory, it's a load of BS. That's the bottom line. That's the real incentive for me to get this video out here, is to kind of let you know about that. It's a load of BS. People will sell you snake oil and make you believe just about anything. There's gas mileage saving devices out there if you still run it, use an ICE car. None of those work either. So don't believe any of that stuff. You have all the information in your hands, and all you got to do is plug it in, let it charge it to 100%. And by the way, when it reaches 100%, you need to read it right at that point in time, because if you guys know anything about electric cars and batteries in general, the minute you stop charging them, and they will shut off at 100%, they're going to start to lose electrons right out of the battery. That's just normal. You know, and depending upon your car, if you have Sentry mode or some other security system on there, you could lose 7, 8, 9 miles a day, even more if it's colder. So you've got to read it right away. You can't just come back in the morning after it's been sitting for 6 hours and the security system's been on. That's not going to be accurate either. You just have to kind of witness it, and, you know, not write it down. I don't do pen and paper anymore. Put it in your phone as a note, that kind of thing. Keep track of it. And for me, I just make a video whenever I do it and say, hey, this is where my my rated range is right now. This is the range I've got on my battery pack at X number of years into ownership, and X number of miles on the odometer, X number of supercharges. And again, I keep track of that because I use the PlugShare app. You can find me on there. And that's about it. That's about it for this video. So again, if you missed me in the beginning, please go ahead and join our really fun groups on social media, on Facebook, by going to our Facebook page, adigitalnomad.net, and clicking on the groups tab. And also you can just click on the first link if you're watching it on YouTube. The first link below is exactly that. And then below that are all the different links for all the different groups that we have. So thanks so much for watching, and I'm sure I will see you soon in the next video. Bye-bye.